Hello everyone and welcome to a review of Doom the Dark Ages. This isn't usually the type of video that I make on this channel, but I really love the Doom series, so I felt it was warranted. I made a simple pros and cons list here. We're just going to go through it. The first pro and the most important pro is that it feels like Doom. It feels like a perfect continuation from Eternal. It fits right into the now Doom trilogy. There wasn't a doubt in my mind when I was playing it that it felt like Doom. It's hard to explain, but just visually, the sound effects, the music, which we'll talk about more later, everything about it just felt like Doom. So I don't want to waste too much time trying to explain that feeling. I think if you get it, you get it. In terms of gameplay, I'm really happy that it was fast. I was worried that it was going to be slow, but it's really as fast as you want it to be, especially when you start playing on harder difficulties. It's really essential that you play quickly, and you have to use your brain to solve all the puzzles of what enemies to kill first, and just trying to deal with the arenas and the chaos. It is as fast as you want it to be. If you want to take a more cautious approach, you can, and I think that applies to all the Doom games. But they did a good job keeping the intensity up. The shield is really awesome. It's a lot of fun. It's really fun to throw it. The parries worked really well. I think the parry system, they knocked it out of the park. I like that the shield had a lot of functions. It didn't just act as a shield. There was so much you could do with it, and you could work it into all of your combos. The new enemies that they added into the game were really fitting, feeling like Doom enemies, like they've always been a part of the Doom universe. I really like the reimagined enemies that we've already had before. Like, for example, the Revenant's always been my favorite Doom enemy, and I feel like they did a really good job reimagining him like medieval style, and now he has an invulnerability window, and just little touches like that. Like, for example, I never liked the Pinky in every Doom game. It's he's always been a pain in the ass to fight, but in this game he's actually kind of fun. I like that he has a little rider that you have to take out first to stop the projectiles. I like perfect. Like, they actually took a demon that I didn't like fighting and made it a demon that I liked fighting and got excited when I saw in the arena. So that was really cool. There were a ton of weapons in the game, and I thought that they were all good. Like, you could literally like take a handful or a couple of your favorite guns and just ride through the whole game with them once you unlock them. I really liked the skull guns, just visually. They just looked really cool when you were using them, and they were really fun to use. I like that they had like a speed up system, kind of like the chain gun. But my favorite was probably the super shotgun, of course, and the chain shot, because the chain shot combo with parries was just a lot of fun, and you just felt like you could do devastating damage. And a gun that I didn't think I was really gonna like, but I ended up using a lot, was the rail gun. Using that one, the headshots, charging it up with the dread mallet was just devastating, and it's how I beat the final boss. So that was really cool. The game did a really good job taking the weapons you have, like your full arsenal, and then you can kind of create your own combos as you're fighting, and that's really cool. And a small note on the enemies that I forgot to mention, I really like that they added armor to them. I like that it added extra risk, extra tension. I like that it just made it feel more medieval. Like, it makes sense that the enemies would have armor. I would say my favorite enemy in this game is probably the Battle Knight, which is the Hell Knight that has armor, and it has like medieval battle axe that it swings around at you. I liked it because he applied a lot of pressure at you, and you had to respond really quickly to him. And every time that you destroy the enemy's armor, it's just really satisfying. I thought the upgrade system was really great. It was really clear. It made a lot of sense. I liked that there were things that you could play with and move around. The in-game currencies weren't confusing. It was very clear the purpose that everything had. And I liked that if you wanted more upgrades, you just had to explore more. It just felt really rewarding, especially when you were saving up for something and you went out of your way to find some extra gold and then cashed in on it. It felt really good. And on that note, I really liked that the map had the secret symbols on them. So the maps would tell you where the secrets were, but you had to figure out how to get to them, which was a puzzle in itself, because they added a lot of like bigger maps than we're used to. They're very wide, very long. Some of the levels are longer. And to figure out where those secrets would be without some kind of hint, you would just be spending hours per level. So I'm really glad that they did that. And man, honestly, trying to figure out how to get to those secrets in themselves was quite a challenge. Another small thing that I liked, a small change, is that they added the 1-ups into this game as well, but you could only carry 3 at a time. And I liked that when you died, it didn't auto use one, because sometimes you die in a really stupid way and you're like, ah, great, there's my 1-up. But the game gives you an option to use it. And I think that's really cool, because if you're crushing it and you're saving up all these 1-ups, you still can't save past 3. So in the back of your mind, yeah, you have a bit of a safety net, but it's not that big. And once it runs out, you can fill it back up again. There's no dash mechanic in this game, but you don't really notice it because they added a sprint mechanic, which just felt awesome. You felt like a badass when you were running. You just felt like you were going to truck the demons down. I went into the settings and I turned to just leave sprint on, so I'm just sprinting all the time because I like it feeling fast-paced like that. So I'd recommend that if you're kind of like me and you like to keep this gameplay speed up. Did I run off the edge by accident a few times? Sure. But I mean, it's not like Doom 2016. You're not going to die if you fall off the edge, so I felt it was worth it. One note on the music for the pros category. I thought that the main music theme song was really cool, and I found myself just like leaving my headphones on at the main menu when I finished a level, just like walking around, like putting the dishes away in my dishwasher and like leaving my headset on, just listening to the main theme song on loop. Like, it's really good. And there are times in the game when you do notice the music that it does feel like there are some really nice heavy riffs in there that do feel very Doom. And the last pro that I'm going to talk about is that the Doom Slayer, I feel, was portrayed perfectly. I like the way that Moist Critical described it. There's a lot of aura farming in this in this game. He just is a badass, and you get excited whenever there's a cutscene. A lot of cutscenes, and they're all very good. They're all beautifully animated. And every time the Doom Slayer is on screen, it's just so exciting. It feels exactly like it felt in Doom 2016 and Eternal. It's just a continuation of the most badass character in all video games. And I like that he had just one word in the entire game, just like in Doom Eternal. In Doom Eternal, it was in the freaking DLC that he gets his one word in. So it's pretty good that he gets one word in the main campaign here, which of course is just the word run. Okay, while I was making my cons list, I found that some of them weren't cons, they were just kind of meh, so I made like a meh category for the mid-tier topics. I found that I liked the linear levels a lot more than the big wide open levels. I did not like the wide open levels, they were kind of fun, but they were just kind of like meh. Another meh moment might be the fact that I platinumed the game in like a week. Because, yeah, I was grinding, but like I was kind of taking my time on the game too. Like I wasn't doing more than a level or two every single day, and then going back and replaying them again. I had the game platinumed in under 25 hours, which is kind of crazy. But to the game's credit, I think that it's because there was no multiplayer, and multiplayer trophies are always a freaking grind, and it adds a lot of time. So that might be it. The music I found was kind of mid. It was like good, but it never really stood out. Like I know the direction that the music artist, composer, whatever was told was to just make it sound like Doom, make it sound like Mick Gordon. So I think they tried their best, but it wasn't the same. I'm not saying the music is bad. It is good. It's not super memorable. It doesn't stand out. But part of the problem is that it's in the settings. You got to crank the music. You got to turn it all the way up, and you got to turn sound effects down. And then you can hear the music a lot better. I just don't think it was mixed very well. And I was going through the music playlist while I was working out, and I found the songs are actually a lot better. Like they banged a lot harder, just like kind of on their own without the distraction of the game. So I don't know what that means. I just don't think that it was mixed very well in the game. Bit of a spoiler here, so just pause or fast forward. The final boss I found was a little bit underwhelming. Just like in Doom Eternal. It was better than Doom Eternal, for sure, in the DLC final boss fight. Yeah, it was better than that, but it wasn't like, I didn't feel like super fulfilled. It took me one try on normal mode. I'm playing through the game on Nightmare, so maybe he's a little bit harder there. But yeah, that I think could have felt more fulfilling. Again, it wasn't a bad boss fight. It was just kind of meh. I'll group the Atlan's and the dragon riding together. Wasn't bad. You know, it is a novelty. It's fun. But after you've done it, you've played through the game one time, it really loses a bit of the effect that it had. And sometimes it feels like a bit of a chore to get through when you're trying to get to, the rest of the Doom action. But I don't not like it. And sometimes it is a nice way to break up the combat. The level challenges for every level I thought were kind of mid as well. I felt like in the past they were more creative with like I think the glory kills gave them the freedom to be like do this type of glory kill and this type of demon, and it really kept you on your toes. Some of the challenges were just like find 3 secrets, which is like you were probably gonna do that anyway. And like finding secrets in themselves is rewarding. It doesn't have to be a level challenge, you know. So I just thought that those could have been a little better, but they weren't bad. There was a decent amount of swimming in this game. I think that people who've made reviews have definitely made it sound like there's way more swimming than there is. I don't think the swimming is that bad. I think that it just could have been made a lot more bearable if you could like swim quickly. If there was like you could sprint underwater, you know. But it's just kind of just the same swimming speed. And when you're trying to cross a large area of water, that can be kind of boring. But it does break up the combat nicely, and it is usually like kind of nice visually. Like I'm glad that you're just swimming through clear water now, unlike Doom Eternal when it was always like radiated and ugly and green and you were like taking damage. This is just like swimming through normal water, and so I thought that was kind of nice. But yeah. And the last topic in the meh category is the plot. I thought that it was pretty engaging on the first playthrough. After every like I was excited for the cutscenes at the end of the level, and they always kind of kept me on the edge of my seat, and it made me want to play the next level. I will say that, but the plot itself was a little bit forgettable. I thought it started off really strong. I liked that the Doomslayer was, you know, under someone's control, and you were excited to break free from that control. But I just found as the game went on, it just got a little bit confusing. I wasn't really sure what was going on. Like I kind of knew, but I was kind of like a little bit confused. Like there's just stuff that wasn't explained. I liked the main villain, but I think that he needed to be a little more flushed out. Instead of just being generic villain, they could have done a little bit more with his personality. We're going to end the video with the cons category. I know I've been yapping for a long time here, but I appreciate anyone who's stuck with me this far. The shield dash is a lot of fun, but I really miss the meat hook. I really liked the versatility that Doom Eternal had, and I think that that was lost a little bit in this game. I know that this game isn't Doom Eternal. It's not trying to be Doom Eternal. It's doing its own thing. But just me personally, I miss the meat hook because I loved the meat hook so much. So I was sad to see it go. There wasn't a whole need for weapon variation, which I know a lot of reviewers are talking about. This game does kind of make up for it with like having such a wide variety of guns, and you're able to kind of pick your favorites, and like comboing with your shield and your melee item does kind of fix this problem. Well, it's not really a problem. It's just a different style of playing, you know. But the thing is, like, once you get your super shotgun, you can just pretty much play the whole game with the super shotgun or the chain shot. You know, because I like had preferences and favorites of guns, I cycled through about 4 of them. But there's like a ton of guns, and there's no way that you need to use all of them. And I wish that there was just a little bit more of a need, like enemies that had specific weaknesses, stuff like that. That could have been kind of simple to put in. But yeah, like on my first playthrough, like I love the super shotgun, so I was using it a lot. But it actually got to the point where I wasn't like having fun anymore. It just kind of got boring because I was just super shotgun blasting the shit out of every demon. And I just started using other guns because I was getting bored of the guns I was using. So just to switch it up and keep it fresh, I was switching my guns up. So I don't think that I should necessarily have to do that. Another thing I missed is grenade cycling. I missed having the frost grenade and the normal grenade and kind of going back and forth and like doing devastating grenade combos. Obviously the shield stuns the demons, so it kind of does the same thing as the frost grenade, but still it's not really the same feel. No multiplayer is a brutal con, because what's the point of getting like all these aesthetic items if you can't flex on anybody? I mean, you get all this stuff for your Slayer, you want to show it off. You want to, like, I really liked that Doom Eternal had like title cards and like little icons you could unlock for your profile. Like, profile customization is huge, and it keeps people grinding for these dumb little aesthetic things. So I just feel like Doom, once you've beaten the campaign, that's just it. There's nowhere else to go. You're just done. So you can just continue to play the campaign over and over and over in different game modes, but it doesn't have the spice of life that a multiplayer brings to the game. I talked about the main menu music being awesome, which is great, but the main menu itself is boring. It's really plain, it's really simple. They don't have any like little icons, notifications when you've unlocked something new. You don't get that little dopamine hit when you've unlocked a new weapon skin and it pops up and, you know, oh, go check this out. You unlock something new. There's nothing. You just like, this feels kind of dumb to like nitpick, but there was no excitement to like going through the main menu. It's kind of hard to explain Unless you're someone who's like a big fan of like customization, like I really liked in Doom Eternal, you could completely customize your whole main menu. And in Doom 2016 with the multiplayer, you still had a whole profile and character you could even customize. So in this game, it just felt like it's just missing something, you know? And a couple more little things here. I thought that playing the game on normal difficulty, the parry windows were too big. Obviously, playing through on Nightmare, it feels better, but it still feels kind of big. Maybe I'm just used to like Sekiro and other games where you have really tight parry windows because they feel really satisfying when you get them right. But in this game, you can adjust it. There's a little slider for it. So, I mean, at least there's that. And the last thing I wanted to talk about, I just tacked this on here before I started recording, is that I miss the flame belch. Whenever I'm playing, sometimes I find myself hitting the triangle button because I'm waiting for that little flamethrower to come over my shoulder. I really loved using that. Just kind of like the meat hook. Like, I just kind of miss it. I'm not complaining. But, like, I don't know why that couldn't have been in this game. I know that they wanted your melee weapon to, like, give you your armor and stuff. But, like, it was such a nice little addition that made it fun. Like, using the flame belch, cycling through your grenades. There were all these little things you could do to kind of add to your combos and add to the gameplay experience. And I just kind of missed that. So, yeah, that's going to do it for my review. I'm really glad that this was largely positive. I do really love the game. I really recommend it. It's a lot of fun, and like the first point I said at the start of the video, it feels like Doom. If you want to play a good Doom game, you're not going to be disappointed. Alright guys, thanks for watching.